Hey everyone, this is
doing?
Justin and Eddie again. This time we're reviewing a little movie called Green Room that came out about a month ago, actually.
A highly mismarketed film. They didn't have as much promotions because it was very independent. They didn't expect to get so much hype to get into a limited into eventually theoretical release. Good film, got a lot of praise. They got pushed into theaters, but it was so mismarketed. This is why some films, like The Gift from last year, they get a very low expectations of being viewed, and then they end up turning out being phenomenal good movies. So,
yeah,
anyways, Green Room. So it starts out with Anton Yelchin.
Yelchin.
Yeah, so it's about this punk group, and basically what they are is they're traveling, they're drifters, a bunch of guys living in a van and girls. They go to Oregon, and basically they go, trying to keep it very short and don't want to go into straight details, they do a concert. Well, the concert didn't go as planned, a lot of booze, got a lot of kicked out, didn't make much money what they were expected.
Yeah.
So then that's when they meet that one guy.
The guy with the mohawk,
Yeah.
who wants to sign him up for a deal. And so he signs him up for a deal where they get to go to Oregon.
Oh,
so,
it's still in Oregon. It's just
right.
another.
It's
up in the
town.
hills. It's
yeah.
Basically, what it was, they were in a city. They did the where they failed at. Well, he goes, well, I got pretty much one last show for you guys, and it's going to pay very well, which sends him up into a deep out in the dark woods. This is like hillbilly heaven.
Yeah.
Into a concert. So. Yeah.
So when they get there, they realize that when their first gig goes down, when the gig goes down there, at first they're kind of making fun of the people there because they start to notice that the people there are a lot of
neo-Nazi, right-wing neo-Nazis
dudes and everything. So they make fun of them in their song, and then they say, "Oh, that was a cover." So they did their actual songs, and then the band starts to like them more.
Yeah.
So then, not to spoil anything, but when they actually go
back in the room,
they actually called the Green Room.
They witness a murder. They witness a murder, and this group does some bad stuff up in this bar up in this mountain. This right-wing neo-Nazi group, they are trying to run a legit bar where they favor these punk rockers that come from all over. They're into right-wing neo-Nazis, racist, all that. So basically, somebody knew something about the group. Something got discovered. They killed one girl. Person sees it. This band sees it. And they know that these guys are liable to go call the cops, so they trap them in the room.
That's right. And so as this goes down, you start to get this, which is what I really love about this film the most, is I love this claustrophobic feel at first they do, where they're trapped in this room. They have nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. The only way they really do anything is they're trying to hold their ground while the group from the other side is trying to get in.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like where the victims kind of play the toughness. It's like a 50-50.
Yeah.
You got basically what really surprises me is Patrick Stewart's actually playing the head of the neo-Nazis. He runs this bar.
Yeah.
It's his group. It's his gangs. He wants them. He's trapped them. He wants them to make negotiations. They end up this group, the band that's trapped in the Green Room.
Yeah.
They basically they got one of their guys hostage. It's kind of like a battle of who's tougher, we'll kill him, we'll do this, you better listen to us, or no, if you come out here, I'm going to kill you. So it's kind of like they're at a standstill. They don't know who's going to make the first move.
Basically, because they're trying to still run their business at the same time, they're trying to get rid of some of the evidence in order to make sure that the cops don't come.
Yeah,
that's what I really love. I really love this film, and also for the reasons why I really love it is because I love the realism they take, and also the whole claustrophobic feel of how these people are trapped in this room, and at the same time they have nowhere to go, and these guys, these neo-Nazis, are trying to because they had no choice but to kill them. So it actually gives them a lot of motivation behind it.
Yeah. So I don't go into too much detail. Basically, boom, boom. They're in the room. They're trying to go after him. They try to break free to try to get out of there so they can get to the cops. Obviously, Patrick Stewart's group is going to the gang's in there to try to kill them. Not going into too much detail of the film because it's spoiler free. But adding that, I love. What was really cool about this film, I really enjoyed, was we don't get much like, we get the hillbillies, like, Wrong Turn, Hills Have Eyes, but we never get, like, something like gangy. Like, we never really...
Like, the whole...
We didn't go political with this, ever. We don't do this whole neo-Nazi, like, right-wing type thing. This is actually pretty brutal.
Last time we did that, believe it or not, was probably American History X.
Yeah.
And that was, like, 99.
Which is a totally far from different thing.
I'm just saying, as far as the neo-Nazi thing.
The whole neo-Nazi thing, but they actually turned it into, like, this is kind of like a wrong term, but they're not, like, deformed or anything. They're neo-Nazis. And what's very rare is you would never think, to this day, you would see Patrick Stewart doing something like this.
Yeah, because
a right-wing hillbilly, he runs this gang, and he's the one who wants everybody slaughtered.
I'll say right now, this is probably one of the best performances I've ever seen, because he is fucking vicious in this movie.
He's vicious.
Like, because what draws him off, unlike other kind of portrayals that would have did this, is that Patrick Stewart is playing it very calm, but very menacing. You can still see the intensity in his eyes.
He's playing very calm, which I'll get to my part on some things later in the review. But yeah, he's playing... I did love him in this performance. I was really shocked that they gives... I love it when movies surprise the fans. You would never think you would see Captain Picard playing 20-something, 30 years later in a racist, neo-Nazi... right-wing, hillbilly, wrong turn type film where he's going to slaughter everybody. He's going to run this skinhead gang into, like, slaughtering these people in the most gruesome different ways just to, to keep his business open, even though he's been killing people for many years. He's been doing some legal shit. He runs a meth lab and everything. I mean, he's, like, playing a hell of American hillbilly role for a guy who's British.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I also love, too, is that this film... It is brutal as hell.
It is brutal.
I've seen some more brutality in this movie in probably a long time, because
it's brutal.
There's a lot of shit they get away in this movie that you couldn't really do in other kind of kind of thrillers that they do nowadays. Right. So I'm really glad they have a film like this.
All right. And so what would you say your cons in this film?
My kind of cons would be is I kind of wish they would do more with, like, some of the background of some of the characters. Like, for example, remember that guy from the very beginning we seen, like the dude with the mohawk?
He's kind of like left in the hangar.
I kind of wish they could have done more of his character, or like the kind of the background more of why the girl was there, like the main girl, the blonde girl, why she was there from the beginning.
Okay, so my cons are going to be a lot bigger than his. I love the film. I love it. I'm going to own it. Patrick Stewart, amazing, everything. Unfortunately, there's some more cons with me. Overall, and this is not going to ruin the film because I still love the film and I'm going to own it. So basically, start from the beginning, work my way down. The guy with the mohawk was really like a big role in why they got there, but then his character is finished.
Well, we see him later in toward the very end where he's like vacuum cleaning, but we don't really see what else he does.
I mean, that doesn't explain what his big role. He brought him there, even though you kind of can guess he is part of them. He knew what was going on there.
Yeah,
but he didn't know it was going to go down like the way it did. So, but still, he's a big character that we kind of get introduced, and he's really thought about throughout the first 20 minutes of the film to just leave with a cliffhanger and not know who he is. I love Patrick Stewart in this. Like I said, I enjoy his role, but I was actually disappointed that I was kind of led in the trailer that he was going to be something kind of like dark, like killer, like Hitcher type killer, like gruesome. Like he's going to be like slitting throats and doing all the killing. He don't do that, and he plays kind of a mellow guy. He's kind of a lead guy. He runs this gang, but he doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to do the legal way out, but he wants his gang to do the killing, and he just wants to stay calm. I was wanting to see Patrick Stewart kind of be more darker than that. I was wanting to actually see him kill people, and I was a little disappointed he didn't, because I would have loved to see him play like something brutal like that, like a Hitcher type guy.
I could have.
So I was a little disappointed because in the trailers, I actually think that was who he's going to be.
Well, see, that's why I probably didn't. Is because
the thing was what I thought they could have done, which I would have liked more. Could you imagine that he has this gang doing some killings, but could you imagine that he gets so dark his gang start realizing that he's losing his mind and they can't control him, he starts going off and just killing people. Like, can you imagine if they would have maybe took a toll like that? Or, like, his gang's like, okay, we were doing this for you, but, man, you're getting too evil, man. Like, you know, not saying like that, bad acting like that. I'm just saying, like, kind of recognize him like, oh man, he's getting a little too far out there.
I could probably see that, but at the same time...
No, well, that's the menacing part. That's what would have made the film a little bit more better. I like what they did with him, it's just I thought they were a little too toned down from what I got from the trailer.
That didn't bother me because I like that we don't get that typical cliche where it's a guy who wants to just straight up murder people. No, he's actually trying
I'm not saying that. I just
keep things at a reasonable level.
I do like that. I could see that so as a beginning of a film, like where the shit starts going down, he's starting calm, but then he's got a dark past. Something's wrong. He's lost it. And I could see that maybe his gang was listening to him, but then they're like, kind of like, man, he's getting a little too far out there, man. I mean, man, I don't know. I can't, like, he's starting to scare me, man. Because these are kids, and I have a hard time believing that these kids got the strongest balls. They're like, yeah, you know. I just feel like they would, like, somebody like that, like, as, me doing badass shit, would kind of fucking start worrying about me if he was nutso. Like, I would love to see, like, a balls to the wall nutso. And that's what I thought it was going to be. A little disappointed in that. I also thought that there was some really drawn out dialogue. I love dialogue, and it does do good dialogue. I'm just saying there were some drawn out scenes, and then where, like, I get what they're doing. They're building up in the character. I just thought some of it could have been cut down a little bit because they did a little too much. And we spent some times where we were watching people talk 15, 20 minutes in the green room. Like, okay, I get we're building up character and all that, and I got that established. But then we started going overboard a little bit longer, and it was like, okay, now we got to hear them talk about what was your favorite food, and just little shit like that. I'm just like, I don't think that should be in the film. I'm like, that's just drawing it out. I could tell it's trying to draw out to make its time.
Well, see, that didn't really draw me off too much because I get that they're trying to establish depth. Like, because
I like depth, but then they you got to say that who cares about who shopped where, and food really doesn't need to be nothing.
Right, but it was trying to be. It's the equivalent of.
I know it wants to be realistic.
Trying to be clever.
Yeah, it's trying to be clever, but I also like I want realistic, and the realism on that part. I don't think I'm going to be discussing you where I like to eat at during a scary time like that, which kind of. I thought maybe the people. I would be scared to death if that was me trapped in that room. No lie. I would be petrified. I felt like they were really too calmish. Felt like they had control, but I think that they could have been more like frightened, show the realism of frightness. Yeah. That was a disappointment. And the last thing I thought, what was it? I had it in my mind. Not really strong in the editing, but the only last thing I got to bitch about, I get it's called Green Room. I get that. And we spent a lot of time in the Green Room, which we get the name Green Room. I like that. But I think they also overuse it because I do like some of it, but I think they overuse it to them keep running to the Green Room every 10 minutes. I like how they're like, okay, well, that plan didn't work. I get that. But then I think that they were overdoing it too much. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I want to see like a run. I want to try to see like a full-on escape.
I'm guessing what they probably did, because that right there didn't really draw me off, because I like what they did with that. Yeah. Because it kind of reminded me of like what they did with Panic Room. You know, where they kept going back and forth.
Yeah, because like back forth.
It's the same equivalent to that.
Yeah, so it's like, it is, and then, well, ironically, it is like that also, because they're stuck in a room, too. But anyways, enough with the cons. That was just my cons. It seems like a lot, but still, it was a likable film.
It is.
Brutality was awesome.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of...
Oh, God, cons, my last cons. This actually really bothered me. This is probably the one thing that really bothered me. I loved it when they killed the one dude. I feel like the dogs did all the killing throughout the film.
Not really. I didn't really think of that, because
they
only killed 2 people.
They killed 2 people. They almost killed the last remaining 3, and they injured one of them. So it felt like overall the dog was the villain. I understand that the dog death was cool, but really it could have been just like maybe one person's death.
Well,
I think that they could have gotten a little bit more creativity on the deaths because, be honest with you, there was the dog scene, which I give it props. The gore on the throat slashing, all the tearing and all that stuff, badass. Oh my god, the practicals. Oh my god, it looks real. The thing I have a problem with it is you had a few people killed by the dogs, and then the rest died by a gunshot. It's like boom, and then a bomb. I thought that, could you not agree with me that they could have done a little bit more creativity?
But at the same time, I guess that's what it worked in that level, because the dogs are a lot more easier to use than instead of them having to go in.
Yeah.
I can understand what they were going for, because that's them trying to keep their shit together.
Our victims hold the gun 50% of the time. And the thing I have a problem with that is they held the gun 50% of the time. They were not able to take out any of these dogs most of the movie, which I was like, come on. I'm like, you could have shot him, man. So, I don't hate the film. As much as I'm bitch about it, you heard a lot of cons, and there was a lot of cons. The movie still captures a likable film for me.
It captures a lot of that.
It did something I don't see ever, and that's why. Now, if this would have been your standard like monster movie, this movie probably would have. These cons would have probably overwrite the good score because we've seen that so many times, but we haven't seen a neo-Nazi redneck. I mean, I like what they did with this. It's like a Deliverance type shit right here. I like it.
Which that's what that they could have took inspiration for, which I've never seen, but that's probably what they're going for, like a cross with Deliverance and Panic Room.
Panic Room with
a little bit of American History X.
American History X with the neo-Nazis, but overall, very rarely with as much cons. But I also loved it so much because there's a lot of good for this film. I'm going to give this 7 out of 10, a C minus.
Absolutely, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really love the movie a lot, and I feel like this is a really gritty.
It's gritty. I love the grittiness.
And it has a really cool claustrophobic feel.
I do, and I like also, the green look to it.
I do also like some of the characters too. Like I do like Anton Yelchin. I didn't mind the girl because I know you weren't too big on her, but I actually didn't mind the girl. I thought she was good too.
That one does get criticized. The blonde one, she's pretty.
Imogen.
The one who's lost the person at the beginning. She does get criticized for her acting. She was kind of, I didn't care for her because she's always a weirdo in her films. But overall, Antoine and everybody else, I loved. I love that.
I love the humor they had too in the movie because they actually had some funny parts that were really good too. Yeah. So overall, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely
7.
Check it out, and if you like a good, like really disturbing kind of feel, kind of like The Gift, but in like a different level, definitely check it out. You get to see Patrick Stewart play a neo-Nazi, so that's cool.
All right.
So check it out, and we'll see you guys later.
All right, later.